Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Krishna
Vancha
Krishna Hare Hare.
kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासा आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय. श्रीला गुरुदेव की जय. All glories to all the assembled devotees here. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Chinmayi Vrajapriya Devi Dasi, welcoming all of you to the mid-morning japa session. I thank all of you for attending today's session, and please forgive me for interrupting your chanting today. But it's time for us to move on to the next part of our session, which is class on Caitanya Bhagavat. May I know who all have joined today's call so that we can welcome you?
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Jai Shri Prabhupada, this is Preeti Devadasi from Atlanta. Thank you, Mataji, for your warm welcoming and thanks to all the devotees for the beautiful chanting. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Vilasani Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Guru Maharaja. And welcome to the call, and thank you for your help, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Chinmayi. I forgot the name.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much, Kaumudaki Mataji. Please accept my most respectful obeisances. Welcome to the call, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Chinmayi Vrajapriya Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from Texas College Station.
Hare Krishna Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Guru Maharaj. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. So glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharajas and all the assembled Vaishnavas. This is Kirti Dasundari Dasi.
Hare Krishna Kirtida Sundari Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudeva. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. Yashamati from Chicago.
Hare Krishna Yashomati Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all the devotees and Sri Guru and Gauranga. This is Shashidhar joining from Texas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Shashidhar Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaja. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Sorry, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glory to Srila Prabhupada. This is Neetu from Baltimore.
Hare Krishna Neetu Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Guru Maharaja. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Is there anybody else who would like to introduce themselves? Okay, before I hand over the call to Prabhuji, let me read today's quote of Srila Prabhupada. Today's quote says, depend on Krishna because after all, he is the ultimate master of all situations. It is not the doctor or the medicine or the place, but it is ultimately Krishna who is the master to do everything. This was said by His Divine Grace in a letter to Raya Rama on March 20th, 1969. So, Hare Krishna devotees, today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Radha Pramod Das Prabhuji with us, and he is going to enlighten us on Caitanya Bhagavat, Adi Khanda, chapter 17, verses 54 and 55. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. Welcome to the call, Prabhuji. And thank you so much for giving your valuable time and association. Eagerly waiting to hear from you, Prabhuji. So please take over the call. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. We'll just go through these two shlokas. Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Samsara Samudra Haite Uddaraha More Ei Ami Deha Samarpila Tomara. Please deliver me from the ocean of material existence. I surrender myself unto you. Commentary. Taking shelter at the lotus feet of spiritual master is the main entrance to the practice of devotional service to the Lord. That is why the spiritual master of all servants and the Acharya of Abhideya, Srila Rupa Goswami Pad, has in his course of descriptions describing the symptoms of devotional service in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, writes as follows: Guru Padashraya Tasmat Krishna Dikshadi Shikshanam Vishrambena Guror Seva Sadhu Vatmanu Vatmanam. Those living entities who desire their eternal ultimate benefit and freedom from material bondage should first take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master who is a manifestation of the Supreme Lord. There is no way of being delivered from the ocean of anarthas without fully surrendering at the lotus feet of the spiritual master. Unless one takes shelter of a bona fide spiritual master who is fixed in absolute truth and conversant in Vedic knowledge, a living entity cannot attain the goal of life through the process of argument. The argument afflicted hearts of godless people who are ever forgetful of the lotus feet of spiritual master and who are averse to the Vedic way of life have taken shelter of the four defects. Brahma, the tendency to commit mistakes; Pramada, the tendency to be illusioned; Vipralipsa, the tendency to cheat; and Karna Patva. In such a way, there is no scope for taking shelter of the lotus feet of the spiritual master. Rather, there is only Guru Droha and Bhagavat Droha, envy of the spiritual master and envy of the Supreme Lord. Those who are determined to merge into the ocean of material existence have no goal other than the unauthorized path of argument. They are unable to accept the shelter of the Vedic way of life or a bona fide spiritual master. The persons who are averse to the service of Lord and who follow the path of argument proudly accept a so-called guru who is an attached householder covered by unauthorized similar considerations as their spiritual master, and if being induced by blind faith they continue like this for millions of kalpas, they will never achieve either eternal benefit. In order to propagate this great truth and educate people, Jagadguru Sri Gaurasundara considered himself a surrendered soul at the lotus feet of the Guru and thus instructed everyone about Sharanagati in the form of Atma Nikshepa and Karpanya, full self-surrender and humility. Those who follow the path of material argument in order to fulfill the deficiency and insubstantiality of a spiritual master who is fully surrendered to Krishna, and thus who all endeavors are meant for the pleasure of Krishna, have no possibility of being delivered from the pangs of hell. And we have 55th text. Krishna Pada Padmera Amrita Rasapana Amare Karao Tumi Yei Chahi Dana. I beg that you make me drink the nectar of Krishna's lotus feet. Commentary. Persons in whose heart the eternally beneficial realization Sajatasya Signasya Sadhu Sangha Satovare. One should associate with devotees who are more advanced than oneself and endowed with a similar type of affection for the Lord. Is prominent can alone fully surrender or the spiritual master. Considering that the lotus feet of Supreme Lord are the only object of service, and to set example for practitioners who desire love of God, and the Lord, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, exhibited the pastimes of accepting Sri Ishvara Puripad, the recipient of Madhavendra Puri's mercy, as a spiritual master, and thus bestowed mercy on him. There are no contradictions in the begging at the lotus feet of spiritual master for the alms of drinking the nectar of Krishna's lotus feet by the Lord, who acted as the disciple, and the awarding of those alms by the donor Ishwar Puri, who acted as the Guru. Nadhanam najanam na sundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamahe mama janmani janmanishware bhavatad bhakti rahaitu kitvai. Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor to enjoy beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. What I want only is the causeless mercy of your devotional service in my life, birth after birth. The purport of this verse, offered by Lord in prayers at the lotus feet of Sri Gadadhara, manifested and constantly remained in the heart of Sri Ishvara Puri Path on the strength of Sri Madhavendra Puri's full non-duplicitous mercy. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmelitam Nena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarani Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaurav Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is a very interesting verse where Lord is asking, I beg that you make me drink the nectar of Krishna's lotus feet, and here please deliver him from the ocean of material existence. I surrender myself unto you. Now I just wanted to take some of the basic and most important here is the desire to be delivered from the ocean of material existence. Here there are many points. It is focused on Guru Padashraya and Krishna Dikshadi Shikshanam, Vrishambena Gurur Seva, Sadhu Atman Vatnam. The purport is trying to tell all these points. I wanted to add few more points to this point, how important it is to know our position, how we are in this position. Now we take shelter. few points about Guru I will try to share, which is like there is little what people have understanding about Guru and what we should expect from Guru. So this is few things, and then we will discuss. Of course, there are many points we might have heard about Guru. So one thing I wanted to share, like why people need a spiritual master. They think that some of the understanding is that it is a free psychological treatment, which is not of very high quality. Also means people go to Guru with problems, and they expect that Guru should solve my problems, or Guru should help me get something, or Guru should bribe Krishna so that Krishna will accept me in his kingdom. Or they may have that Guru, some of my desires are not fulfilled, and Guru should help me, somebody, and especially solving. And this is how there is an understanding of different ways of Guru. Most important point is Guru is not meant to give. Guru is meant to take first. So he will give, but first he will take. What he takes is he takes all the anarthas from the heart first. So that is the first job. He takes service from us, and then he starts cleaning what is unwanted in our heart. Like this tradition is there in some of the Christian cultures. On the Easter, before Easter, they clean their houses. Whatever unwanted they put on the road, and some people will come and collect who are needy people. So, like many houses, they have mezzanine floor in the house only. They have everything they dump in that, or they have that go down or parking lot where they have this go down, dump everything there. Like that, so many things are accumulated in us. First job of Guru is first he cleans it. Now, I will about ourselves, and then then you will be able to appreciate how much Guru is doing for all of us. So this is one part I want to try today. I will try to explain how our system is working, how uh, how this conditioning is happening to all of us, how we are conditioned, how we are programmed. Of course, this I have taken, but some more points I wanted to add to it, which is very helpful for our further, what do you say, understanding and realization of spiritual master, because we want to go more and more closer to our spiritual master. So this will help. Like what happens is we all have I will just tell how we are getting this programming. So two ways I'll explain. So first is we have karma, which has two components. One component is why I'm telling is we have a mission which we have to give in the hands of a qualified person who will handle it nicely, which we are not doing now. I want to convey that point. First, we should know what type of mission we got and how it got corrupted, and how it is very important that we need an expert person who is a guru who will handle it nicely and make it eligible to serve Krishna. Now, with this body, we are not eligible to serve Krishna. It's all programmed in a wrong way. It's all fully corrupt and full of viruses. Now, this mission should be utilized in Krishna's service. Somebody should repair it, and that person is good. First, we'll see how it got corrupted, and then once we are convinced about it, then we agree. Okay, now I need a person, expert person. He will handle it properly, and he will get it properly repaired, and he will offer it to Krishna. Now, when we perform activity, there is karma. It has two components. One component is reaction, one component is impressions. So when I get this body, two things came with this body. say from the previous life's karma, I got two things. One is the reactions from what all I did from last life. Reactions will manifest in the form of, say, body. Second is our happiness and distress, our opportunity, the people around us, mother, father, and all our abilities and talents. Say, 6-7 things. They are all already given to us based on our previous karma. The body is my previous karma. My talents, previous karma. Happiness and distress, previous karma. So opportunities, facilities, opulences, no opulence or zero opulence. It's all like that. And name and fame, previous. So these are all actions from, most of the part is from previous life actions. Along with an actions, karma has two components. Another component is of impressions. Now, these impressions, everything, karma has impressions from previous life. So these impressions from previous life, they constitute, the impressions are sanskaras, and some of them are manifested as our vasanas. Vasanas means our desires, our tendencies, our inclinations, and our patterns, thought patterns, our attitude. And then we have these are two components from our past life. Now, this is now in the sanskara part is very important. And then in this life also we have some actions which form reactions. Every action has reaction also and impression also. I'll explain how. Say suppose I ate a gulab jamun. If I ate gulab jamun, I get reaction for it. What reaction? I experience some pleasure, and it has some whatever, it has some glucose and all. It may go to my body and I may get some nourishment. Or if I eat some nice organic, some food item or whatever, I get some nourishment. And then not only the nourishment, along with that I got an impression. Wow, gulab jamun is very sweet. It's very tasty. Now that impression is stored, and after some time again, if I see gulab jamun, I may get a desire to enjoy gulab jamun. This is impression. One is reaction. Say some person saw a movie, so he got a pleasure out of it. But the impression is also stored. So not just action. I ate or I spoke to somebody, I met with some nice person, I got nice experience with him, but I also had an impression. Oh, I want to meet that person again. I want to meet her again. So in that way, you have an impression also. So this is the most dangerous part, these impressions. Why we need a guru? This is all will help. This is, I am trying to make you connect to this. Please try to understand, because I am starting very to come to this point. Now these impressions are what is the impetus for our actions, present actions and future actions. That is very important to understand. Not only just a reaction you get from the action, but you get an impetus to act further. Say I got a bad experience with some situation. Now that reaction I already got very bad. I never go. But you already have an impression. Array, that area I'll never go only. I start hating that place, or I have a negativity about that place, or a person, or food, or anything. So all these things will make me act in a particular way. So the impressions will make me act in a wrong way or right way or whatever way I like or I don't like. Now this is from the past life. And present life also, we have actions which will make me reaction, actions which will make me impressions. Now we have three categories. One is from past life. Second is for first 4 lives of our age, from the womb of mother to 4 years of age, almost 4 years, 9 months we can say. That is the second stage, and third stage is after 4 years. Now these are the 3 stages where our impressions come, different impressions, which has first 4 years has very heavy impact, the impressions. And second is when we are having it. Okay. Yes. I have some notes, but that this will not be much helpful. Okay, I will take this notes. So anyway, so now you understood every action has two things: reaction and impression. So impressions are what are the impetus for future actions. Clear? Now impetus for future actions have three categories: what is from past life, what is from first 4 years of age, which is having the maximum effect on our life for whole life. That's the reason mothers have so much responsibility. Mother is 10 times, not 10 times, 100 times more worshipable than father also, because she takes care that 4 years which is going to impact us. All of you are sitting in this class, most of the credit goes to your mother, because first 4 years she gave you some impressions which are actually making you to come and sit in the class. That is the point. You have to give her credit. All your mothers. Like I have my friend's mother who is my roommate. So his mother, she is so religious. Minimum 3 to 5 hours she sits in front of the Lord every day. Children, all three are proper 16 rounder devotees, very seriously practicing devotees. Because mother is very religious, she could produce children also like that. So the credit goes to mother most of the time. Now, and that's why first 4 years I told, 9 months in the womb, and after that 4 years are very crucial, which are causing the impression. That's why sanskaras are done. Garbhadana sanskara, then there is sanskaras. When the child is in the womb, only 2 sanskaras are performed because they are causing impressions, basically. And then Annaprasana, Namkarana, and so many other sanskaras are there. So why? Because they are impressions. Now, now the third part is present actions are also causing impressions. All over internet we have, which is causing so many impressions for us, the people around us, and whatever. Now, this is it. This is from the Shastra. Now I will tell based on neuropsychology also, so that you will know that we are not just taking something which you are not seeing, but even from the scientific point of view, I'll try to explain this point. Please pay little attention. It's little technical, but if you pay little attention, you'll be able to understand. There are 4 points to be understood. That's all, not many, but you have to put little effort. Now, how the functioning of our brain happens. This is from the neuro. It's a pure science, nothing to do with any religion or spirituality. But it it will convey the point very nicely. Say now this brain is a machine, which is only 2% of the body, but it demands 25% of the energy. It's a machine which works all the time, and it always needs fresh food, fresh glucose every time, otherwise it becomes dead. These muscles, they can, because of some fat, my hands and other parts of the body may survive, but that won't survive like that. It always needs fresh food. Now mind, the first point, this is 4 points I told you. First point, mind is scanning the environment from dangers. Say now just try to imagine you have a mission. Please imagine, otherwise you will not understand, you get confused. You have a mission which is always bombarded with information. It is bombarded with information. How the information comes? Say there are 5 agents which is always giving its information. Eyes are giving, ears are giving, tongue is giving, skin is giving, nose is giving. Now you are in a place where you are sent to the brain that this is the temperature around, no problem, you can survive. Suddenly the temperature reduces or increases. If it reduces, you need a heater. If it increases, you need air conditioner. So now the information goes to the brain. Brain immediately programs, this machine immediately programs, this is not a good temperature for you. Immediately change it. Put a AC or a heater. Immediately brain is giving the signals. And the brain says, this smell is good. It's a nice fragrance. Oh, this smell is a little odd. Open exhaust fan. Now it is getting this program immediately from nose. Eyes says, oh, nice scene. We can, and ears also giving some sounds. Hey, somebody is screening, or no, voice is low, loud. Now the information is always bombarded all the time onto the brain. It is processing, and what it is processing from, it is always processing from, scanning from dangers. It says this is not suitable for you, this is suitable for you. So this machine is a self-programmed machine, which is always, say you are seeing a machine. Don't think you are seeing me. You think, imagine you are seeing a machine. I have, this is a machine which is always programming from dangers. And what happens? We try to protect ourselves from all sorts of dangers. And now our life, it starts from a dramatic, stressful experience. This is second point. First point is you are getting all the information, bombarded with information. This is the first point. Second point I am trying to explain. Now, when we are in the womb of mother, this machine, we are given a special machine which starts developing, and it completely grows by the time of 9 months. Suddenly, and the soul is given this mission. This mission is self-programmed mission. Try to understand. Suddenly, and it gets this mission is having only one, it's everything dark, only one solace is the heartbeat of mother. Very peaceful. Mission is also okay, no problems for the mission. It does not know anything. Now suddenly a force comes into the womb and you are kicked out, and we don't know where you are to go. When we are all in the womb, we don't know where to go. Suddenly a small hole opens and we have to, and smaller than our size, and we have to somehow come out of it. And then when we come, immediately this mission get exposed to so much bright light, so many different sounds, and so much other type of smells and temperatures and all. So now immediately this brain, it was in a stress. It's a self-programmed machine. Immediately start scanning and trying to adjust from this dangerous situation. So this machine is getting programmed. It learns how to adjust with the situations. It does not know, but the stress will help us to develop. Now, say for a small child, you don't identify with the body. He's just aloof. He's simple. You don't have ahankara. That is the advantage. You don't have ahankara. You don't identify with it. He's aloof from what is happening around. He's in that way okay. But this brain, the machine is programming. It is self-programmed. This is a gift by material nature. And now it is programming from the danger. Now, say if you take a small any object and throw onto the child's face, child will only look like this. He does not know that I have to put my hands and protect myself. He don't know these things. He is just looking around and seeing, oh, he's just looking, because the brain did not know that this is a danger. I have to act in a particular way. That program is not yet happened. Slowly it will develop that programming. Now what should I do in this situation? What should I do in this situation? The brain is getting programmed. The machine is getting programmed, and slowly it starts giving energy also. That's why till age of 15, the child goes through so many stressful situations. But that stressful situations help him to grow, protect himself from danger. For a child, there is no need of dinosaur. A small cockroach is suffering to go into great panic. Cockroach! I think the child is so small and he'll think cockroach will devour me. He's so much afraid. But slowly that fear will help how to handle the situation. Now, next time, like small children, if you keep in front of bucket of water, they look into it and they'll fall into it. 1-2 times they'll fall, third time they understand. No, I should not bend so much. Now, what happened? This mission, it understood. It got that programming that I should not bend too much. And similarly, if you like now, if it touches something hot, it burns, but immediately you remove the hand. We don't think about it. The brain, the machine is programmed. Hot means immediately the information goes and it will lift the hand. This is the machine is self-programming machine. Nothing to do with the soul. Brain is a machine which is activating the body like that. Brain is a machine. This machine is getting activated. If I see so much temperature, immediately I go take my remote, reduce the temperature. If I see so much wind, I go and close my windows. So this is, the machine is programmed. If the machine is feeling some sort of hunger, goes and eats some. Brain is getting programmed like that. This is the point. Self-programmed machine. And it takes complete programming 15 years. Every time there is a danger in life. So now this is called neural network in our brain, which starts quickly producing proper reactions to all these dangerous situations. There will be always somebody chasing. There may not be many tigers, but wife is there, some husband is there, exams are there, teachers are there, professors are there. You have to run away from so many dangers are there. So mind interrupts the situations and then there is, because it's not by the, so it is by the self-program mission. Soul is nothing to do with it. This is the most important point. We have dangerous, stressful situations. We go through the life and many. And now, especially see if somebody, all of you may be knowing how to drive a car. So initially, when we are driving, first we are in stress. Especially we are in traffic. And if you are in India and if you are in Hyderabad, or if you go to by mistake, you have ended up in Begum Bazaar or some places, heavy traffic, so much stress. But eventually, after 1-2 years, you don't feel, you are okay. Whatever traffic is there, you know how to adjust, and others will get stressed because because we already know driving. We drive in such a way that others are in panic. So what happened is this mission got adopted. Traffic, you know how to do it. If there is no, how to do it. Rain, water, wind, height. This mission perfectly programmed. It knows how to act. It knows how to behave, how to defend itself, how to react to a situation. Everything pakka. Now, every time we undergo a stressful situation, new programs are formed. How to deal with it. Clear? Second point. Now, we'll come to the third part. Hope you're all with me till now. And this all sorts of is still 15 years. Now, third part is when we are in dangerous situation, we put extra energy. If somebody has any questions in between, you can just ask. Otherwise, I'll continue. So, when we go through some dangerous situation, what happens is extra energy is needed in that particular, to cope up with that. We need extra. Now, extra glucose are pumped in our blood vessels, blood pressure pumping more, and certain parts need some energy. Say suddenly there is somebody screaming outside, and we feel some danger is there, and immediately all the energy goes to our legs and we can run. Legs need more energy now. Suddenly some object is falling, hands will go. So all the energy is needed in the hands now. So brain is programmed in such a way, it will act automatically. We cannot think only. There is no question of thinking. If you think, our head will break. So without our thinking, it acts. Legs also act like that. Brain is programmed. Now body manages all its energy. Now the problem what happens, if we are going through stressful situation, all the energy, digestion especially is a very costly process. It's not economical. If we are relaxed, then only we can digest. If we are in stress, energy is going to different parts of the body, will not be able to digest. That's why all problems come, because when we are in stress, digestion don't happen. And that causes ulcers, constipation, blood pressure, diabetes. All these things is because mind is not cool. Somebody is very cool, he'll not have problem. This is so body and mind functions automatically. Now, there is one more interesting. So third point is what? When we act, energy goes to that part, automatically happening. Third is, this is side point, not third point. What happens is, by the age of 40, all the experiences that we have, especially people who already have money, they go through all the experiences. What happens after 40? They become bored. Nothing new happens in life. Same situations, you attract the same stressful situations, same jokes in the movies, same stories in the movies, and same politicians they promise without doing anything. Same situation. People get bored. Midlife crisis. This is what happens. Now, now we come to our mind is scanning the environment all the time. It is always working on protecting the ourselves from dangers. Now, the most important point here, which is the point which I want to convey, because we need Guru. This is very important. Try to understand. Now, this is scientists. What they discovered, they discovered that they see that brain and they scan the brain. They have armor, some missions or some missions, they put all these wires. You might have seen some photos, and in the screen they can see. So they see that there are certain neurons, that there are cells that get activated. So if I lift my hand, immediately some cells in this part of the brain, they get activated. They, as soon as I lift. If I speaking, something is getting activated like that. And there are some things that get activated when you come to know. So if I come to know that this person is speaking or something, some information came to me, immediately some other cells activate. See, this most interesting, that there is something called darshana shakti, which is ability to see, and there is something called ahankar. Ahankar means asmita, we can say ahankar. Now, after I do the activity, very interesting, this is pure science. After I do the activity, after 1/25th of a second, I come to know that I did an activity. That means after 250 milliseconds, then I spoke. After 250 milliseconds, I come to know that I spoke. That means the soul comes to know my action after I acted, because the mission acts first and the soul comes to know later. Suddenly some object came, I had to run away from here. I ran. After 250th millisecond, the soul comes to know that I am running. Because the gap is so small, we never know it. The body acts independent of soul. That's why Krishna is telling, Prakrite Kremanani Gunai Karmani Sarvasha Ahankara Vimudhatma Kartaham iti manyate. The soul is only observer. This mission is independently acting. The soul is observer, mission is independently acting. That is the point Krishna is telling. And this mission is made of 3 modes. That I'll come to that point. Prakrite Kriyamanani. Prakriti is doing these 3 modes. This is body is 3 modes. And soul is what? Soul is only observer. But ahankara vimudhatma, because of that false ego, kartaham iti manyate, thinks that I am the doer. This false identity makes him think he is the doer of activity, even though it is done by nature. Now, how the programming happens, that I'll come to, because this is some part is okay. That now why we need Guru, because that is our topic. I'll come to that point also very clearly. The soul is only now till the age of 4, you don't identify. The child has not much. He may have some things that I like it, I don't like it, but he don't have that false ego. Like for a child, you go and tell you are a stupid 3-year boy. He'll only laugh. He'll give a chocolate, he'll happy. He does not know that I am a stupid or an idiot. He don't have much false ego, not yet grown. He don't identify so much with that. After 4, slowly the hankar starts developing. We start identifying. That's why 4 I was telling you. Only sanskaras. Now, after that we start. What is the problem is I did an activity. Say I gave a class. Now the soul thinks, Darshana, that I am giving the class. The soul identifies as I am a preacher because of that false ego. As such, it is already programmed. I am programmed to speak. I'll speak only. I'll tell how. Unfortunately, I'm not writing in some place. Otherwise, I could have. If board is there, maybe next time I'll have my board and I'll try to write the points so that it will be easy for you to understand. Now, in the beginning, I told sanskaras, karma has 2 factions. One is the impression part, one is the reaction part. Clear? Now, the impression part, that actually is the deciding factor. What decides? Now, okay, you can ask question. Okay, Prabhuji, we are all given mission. This mission is given. Now, program like that, but I react in a particular way for this situation. He reacts in a particular way. He reacts in a, why we are reacting differently? If mission is same, say I get a laptop from Apple, all laptops should function same. The programming is not same. But why are differently programmed? That is what scientists cannot tell, which we can tell because we know Bhagavata. So here, what happens is this is the hardware part they can tell. The brain is only the hardware. But there is something called software also. The software is what? That is mind. Mind has 4 parts. Mind has chitta, man, buddhi and ahankar. So these are 4 parts of the software. So now my laptop is there. Whatever programming I kept, based on it will come. Now I have Zoom. So this is software. Now Zoom will come. If I have some other thing, I have YouTube. Or if I have some other thing, I have some other company projects or something, that will come in this. So whatever software is, that I can see, right? Similarly, we get a software also along with this mission. The software is based on what? The impressions from the previous life. Clear? So every action, there is impressions. The impressions forms our software. There is sanskaras, vasanas and vrittis. Also, when Krishna is telling Prakrite Kriyamana Gunai Karmani Sarvasha. He is telling this, it is formed by 3 modes of material nature. This is the 3rd chapter, 27th shloka. You can verify. What are 3 modes? This hardware, the brain is made of ahankara and ignorance. Manas and chitta, they are ahankara in sattva. Whereas ahankara and rajas is buddhi. So this 3 formed software and hardware is the what we got. And in that the programming is set by the impressions, which are already now. Can you imagine? Now all the impressions are set. Mission is also set. Self-programming along the situation gets programmed and acts. What the poor soul is doing? Only observing. Out of ahankara, identifies itself and suffers for no reason. See, software is given, hardware is given, they're self-programmed. According to environment, everything is getting programmed. The poor soul, only the observer, because of false identification, ahankara vimudhatma, karta miti manyate, caught up. What the soul can do to get out? That is the point. We only identify and get caught life after life. Now the impressions, they'll make you act in a particular way, and you act in a particular way, you get reaction, you get another impressions, and again you suffer with that actions, and the impressions will make you act further, and that action further will give 2 components, reaction impressions. Go on in this cycle. Every time you get a new mission, either dog mission, cat mission, human mission, just continue. But there is one loophole in this. There is a loophole when you get a human body. When you get a human body, you get a loophole where this mission can be submitted to a person who will repair it. That is a spiritual master. Without Shastra and spiritual master are given, and we are given some intelligence to handle it nicely. We have some choice in human life. Animal life, no choice. Zero. This program, act accordingly. Cat will act like cat whole life. It will not become a dog. It cannot evolve into any other species from cat. Cat will remain cat. No choice. Dog will dog. Cow will cow. Any animal. They just are programmed that mission will work like that only. And that poor living entity identifies the mission, continue in that life, Prabhu. That's all. Human life has an opportunity to understand I am in a wrong situation. Human life, we try to know, because see, what is the main difference? Cat does not know that it know, but human knows that we know. This is the difference. We are conscious. Animals, they don't know that they know. And we can question whether what I know is right or not. Animals cannot question that. Say, I have some information, but I can question myself. What I know is right or not. Animals cannot do it. Clear. Now, in this situation, when I identify myself with the body, I need a spiritual master. Till now, it's clear. Before I proceed for our important point of discussion, any questions, discussions? It's clear.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So, Dandavat Pranams. So you said that soul is just an observer. So the soul is also observer, and the super soul that is associating with the soul is also an observer.
Yes.
And the actions or the activities is carried out by the three modes of material measure.
Yes.
And under that impression, the soul thinks that ahankara vimudhatma kartahamiti manyate. That because of that false ego, the soul thinks that I'm carrying out the activity. Is that right understanding?
Yes, yes.
Okay, perfectly. Very, very clear now. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Ji, may I ask a question here? Prabhuji, can you hear me? Very well.
Yeah, I'm able to hear. Yes.
Yeah, Prabhuji, my question is, when we learn about karta in our, we find that there are three kartas. The first is the spirit soul, as you say that ahankar vimudatma kartamiti. And then that karta's desire goes to sanction for, whether it's approved or not by Paramatma. And then materialization occurs by the material nature. So I understand there are three kartas. The original karta is the desire of the spirit soul, which now activates the machine. So isn't he really a karta or not? It's still a observer. Because desire is the cause of our conditional life, which advaita mutena. So how is this? I just wanted some clearance from you.
Yeah, that was actually my next point of discussion. Thank you for asking. I was able to address that point only. So now what we have in our choice, that is very important to see. Anyway, the mission is programmed. Anyway, the sanskaras and privileged life on first 4 years of our age, nothing is in our control. All programming is already done. I am going to act in this particular way. I like that food items. I like this environment. I'll be behaving in this way. Somebody, no matter how much they try, they cannot do yoga. How much they try, their weight increases. How much they try, their things are, they are not anything, that nothing will happen. Now, what is there in the soul's hand? That is very important. Only thing we have is desire. That's all. Now the living entity is desiring to enjoy. That's why it is getting caught. That's why there is false ego. This is called asmita. Now the same thing, when we associate with a spiritual master, what happens is we develop spiritual desire. Once we get a desire, now these two lines, if what we read today, if that we can understand, is telling, please deliver me from this ocean of material existence. I surrender on myself onto you. This is actually the intensity of desire we should have to come out of it, and spiritual master can do it. I beg that you make me drink the nectar of Krishna's lotus feet. This is the desire we should have. These are the two statements which we discussed today. So if you have that intense desire, that's all. Living entity is out. Because only thing what we have is desire. And that will come when we associate with the spiritual master. When we associate with Sangha Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhu Hai Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha. Why Lava Matra? Because immediately the desire appears by his association. That is very important for us. Now, when we person who is desiring so intensely for Krishna, when a living entity comes to is a natural, that is very natural state for him to desire to have Krishna. But unless you come in contact with a sadhu, saintly person, guru, will not be able to do it. We need a spiritual master to give that desire in our heart. Now the desire very faintly, I don't know, for me it is, I cannot hear my desire in that direction, but I have a desire, maybe this is good. That intensity is not there. That's why we are here. But slowly, our sadhana is what? Sadhana is to intensify the desire, increase the fire of the desire. And it becomes so powerful, so bright, it burns away all our anarthas, all our conditionings, all the impressions which are having, which is getting programmed, that should be burnt. Otherwise, we are caught up here only. So basically, when they're doing karma yoga, nishkam karma yoga is basically to burn all the samskaras. But we go in a different way. We say this is karma, jnana, and all very difficult. Just take bhakti, surrender to Krishna, says Krishna, surrender, I don't have anything. Other, we have to create that desire. The living entity, what Prabhuji is telling, actually 5 karanas are there. Any activity, Krishna says 5. One is the place. Second is the senses. Third is the doership mentality. Fourth is the soul. Fifth is the fourth is the desire. And fifth is the Lord. So in this, the soul is the 1/5. In that 1/5, what is the soul's main factor is the soul, and the main sanctioner is the Lord. What soul does? Only desires. Lord sanctions, material nature acts. So this is Lord, we desire. Based on our desire, Lord is sanctioning and material nature is performing. This is the problem. When we desire to go to Krishna, Lord sanctions and all our sanskaras, everything will change by the mercy of Guru. He will make the system work properly and help us to get out of this material world. That's how it happens. Only thing we do is desire properly. So whole chanting of Hare Krishna is what? Desiring, may Lord Radha and Krishna, my dear Lord Radha and Krishna, engage me in your service. The soul is chant. The soul should chant. Now only lips are chanting. After that, mind should chant, and then soul will start chanting like that. So this desire is what we have to develop. This is how, and this already corrupt, sorry, some damage is already happened, wrong programming. We give in the hands of Guru, says, my dear, properly utilize. So Guru says, okay, do this, do this, do this. Our mind and body should be in the service of Guru. He will utilize it properly based on our propensities. You say, do this activity, go and distribute books, read Bhagavatam, chant, do this, do this. We do according to him so that we repair this machine and you make it qualified to serve Krishna. Clear? Okay, I'll take some questions before I make another points on this. Till now.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
So,
Krishna.
okay, now the soul desires, super soul sanctions, and the 3 material modes of material nature. Under that, we act. Now, okay, this is the positive thing, that we come into the contact with the spiritual master, his instructions, we follow. The soul has the nice desire, super soul sanctions, and all the material modes of material nature help us in achieving that goal. Now, when the anarthas comes in, so now the soul is desiring those anarthas. Are we falling into those lust, anger, greed? And then our desire is changed, and then we are working under those modes. Like, how does it work? So the desire of the soul gets changed, or what happens actually?
So I told impressions, right? Impressions, there are sanskaras, vasanas, and vrittis. So the impressions have many factors. One of impressions causes desires. So if I'm going in the association of a television, movie, or advertisements, they cause impressions. They cause desires. So desires come with impressions. And now if I'm associating with a spiritual master or a saintly person, that also causes impressions. Impressions are cause of our desires. Whomever I am with, whomever I am hearing, whichever impressions. That's why dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu pajayate. If you are appreciating something, that means you are making an impression of it. If I am appreciating a saintly person, I am having impressions of a saintly person. If I am appreciating a heroine, hero, or whatever, you are developing impression. That causes desires. The vasanas are called desires. So already we have so many vasanas from all the previous impressions. All desires are already there. Now what we have to do, we have to make it less and create more spiritual impressions. Chanting in the morning, hearing Bhagavatam, associating with devotees, serving devotees. We are creating spiritual impressions so that spiritual desires come. So desires are already there. They are called vasanas. We want to minimize that and increase spiritual. Clear?
Yes, Prabhuji. So even while performing our spiritual activities, when we are into Krishna consciousness, when the soul desire to achieve its permanent goal, eternal goal, even at that time, some desires, because of the past impressions, they pop in.
Yeah, all the time they are there. We only hardly we get spiritual desires in initial stage.
Yeah,
It's
that's
all
very true.
material.
Yeah, so it's all material desires, and because of that, all these offenses we commit, right?
This is all because of we are inattentive, we have so many attachments, we have so many we find faults, or we are committing offenses. This is all because of all these material vasanas.
Yeah, because after initiation, it is said that all the prarabdha and even the propensities to commit get eradicated.
Prarabdha will go, the propensity may not go so easily. All of prarabdha karma is gone. Prarabdha will go, and whatever future karma, everything will go. Karma will go, but what impressions don't go so easily. For that, we have to do homework. And the homework is called sadhana. See what happens now, the programming, the machine is made in such a way that you cannot change it so fast. Our tendencies, inclinations, all these things, they are called our swabhava. The swabhava don't change fast. Swabhava, sadhana is needed to change swabhava. Like now you have your family members. You know each of their swabhava in your family and you know how to handle them. You have your children or husband or your friends and relatives, you know their swabhava and you know how to deal with them. If swabhava is so flexible, morning to evening it changes, you don't know how to handle people only. You'll get confused. Morning is one, evening is one. So Lord made swabhava very, I don't know I myself only how to act. My swabhava changes so fast, I don't know what I need. That's why Lord made swabhava very fixed. Now because it is fixed, it is actually a disadvantage in spiritual because I wanted the swabhava to be spiritual. So I had to do all sadhana. That's why we need to do morning again and again, chanting again and again, hearing again and again. Why we have to do, and same points are again explained because we need to change the swabhava into spiritual.
Yeah, makes sense, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you for the wonderful session. Hare Krishna, and thank you for answering all my questions. Hare Krishna.
Thanks.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I'm again. May I share some reflection about what you have said so far?
Sure, bro.
Okay. First of all, I felt I'm back in med school in 1970s when I used to study all this neurophysiology and all that. So it was kind of a refreshment about how. But in med school, in physiology book, even if today, if you read the introduction to the book, it says very clearly, and that affected me so much at that time. I was 23, 24 there, around there. And it says very clearly that there is nothing spiritual about physiology of human body, is what they write. So first impression I had was, this is wrong. Because my bringing up was that we are a spirit soul. In fact, what you mentioned about the mothers, I'm so grateful to my mother because at the time of my initiation by Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, 1984, that's the time she mentioned to Guruji that, when he was inside, I read Srimad Bhagavatam in Gujarati to him. This is what she said. So I'm eternally indebted to my mother who read that to me when I was inside. And after I graduated, I went into obstetrics and I was delivering babies. And as when you were mentioning that we come out and we have come out into a very unknown world, the child is afraid and cries, especially the brain, skull, bones, that time they overlap. They are soft and overlap to allow to go through that 10 centimeter outlet. Right? The widest is 10 centimeters. And when the skull is bigger than 10 centimeters, you have to go for cesarean section. You cannot deliver the baby vaginally. So when I used to deliver babies, I used to speak them Hare Krishna mantra in their ear, sometimes loudly, even, like that. So somehow this related to my sanskar or my teachings from my mother, whom I consider the first spiritual master, because she is giving me sanskar like that. And later on also, in my practice, and I got like that. I used to instill this spirituality to anyone a baby is born. I was in Africa that time, and even African babies were born like that. So this is really good in the sense that we understand the whole neurophysiology, anatomy, and at the same time we hear the spirituality basis behind that. So the more one gets educated scientifically, and if he has this spiritual understanding, it makes the perfect sense. It is good for the doctor and for the patient, for everyone like that. So this was my little contribution, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak. Jai Shri Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I have a question. Like you were saying that the machine has four points. One point is that we're burdened with information. What were the other 3 points, Prabhuji? Can you please repeat them?
Yeah. I'll tell. So one is it is self-programmed machine. First is. Second is it's always scanning from the dangers. And third is it is we come to know after we do the activity. That means the soul comes to know after this mission acts. That is another thing. So this is a self-programmed machine. It is always getting information. First thing, it always is bombarded with information. It gets self-programmed. Third is it is scanning from all the dangers and know how to react to the programmings. And then fourth is we come to know after we act. Clear with this?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavad Shastra Prabhupada. Thank you so much for such a beautiful class as always. Prabhu, first of all, I would like to clarify. When we talk about impressions, we are considering samskaras, vrittis, and vasanas together, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Then in that case, what is it that, so we are carrying samskaras from one birth to the other, correct?
Yeah.
So samskaras, would they fall into the classification of the subtle body, or they are considered separate?
So what happens, Mataji? They are all stored in our chitta. Chitta is like a hard disk. It is a subconscious mind. So all the samskaras are stored in chitta. And then there are some samskaras which are formed in this lifetime, which are stored in our manas, likes and dislikes, likes and dislikes. When it's stored in chitta, it's are in a neutral form. There are no plus and minus. Like say, then there is something called buddhi and ahankar. I will give an example. You will understand how these impressions are stored. Say you are going on a store, you are going on a footpath. Suddenly you saw a glass, and then a beautiful cloth and dress. Then immediately when you saw that with blue, red, some strips here, there, immediately that photo eyes takes and that gives to Chitta. Chitta has all the images properly stored, files and information. Immediately tells it is a beautiful sari, very costly Kanchipuri sari. Then that information goes to Manas. Manas immediately says, wow, I like it. This is cool. So this happens so fast from our eyes to our Chitta to Manas. And as soon as Manas says, I like, then Chitta, then Ahankar says, I want. Then Buddhi says, you don't have money. Now this is not the budget. It is not in your budget. Buddhi will say, okay, surrender, go and purchase. So these are the 4 activities, and is all based on how these 4 are acting based on the impressions. One more point I'll add, 2 points I'll add. See, so many impressions are there which are manifested in this life. Okay, I'll come to that point later. So now you understood. So the impressions are stored in Chitta, all the information, and Manas is like the RAM, and Buddhi is like the active desktop. And whereas Chitta is like the hard disk, which all the information are stored from all the lifetimes. Clear? But Chitta is a neutral part. Any car you are seeing, say you saw a Mercedes, immediately eyes will give the information, Chitta will say Mercedes. Manas will say, cool, have a Mercedes is a cool car. Ahankar says, I want it. And then Buddhi has to activate. And Buddhi is the fire element. It says, how to get a Mercedes? Okay, take a loan, whatever. Like that. So the impressions are the impetus for our action. So when our eyes see, so you did not know that object, eyes will not say anything to it. But you saw something white and soft, immediately goes to Chitta, says it's a cake. Manas says I want it. Ahankar says Manas says I like, Ahankar says I want. So sometimes you say I don't want, it's so bad, run away from there. So all our actions are based on this programming only. Eyes are programmed. You hear some rock music or some cool music or some classical music. Ear says, goes the information to Chitta. Manas says, I don't like classical music. He says, Ahankar says, get out. Buddhi says, okay, let us get out from this place. You are understanding the impressions are what makes us act any action we are doing.
So now,
And yes, ma'am.
yes, finish, Prabhu, then I'll ask.
Now, what type of impressions manifest in this life is based on something called adrishta. Unlimited impressions from unlimited lifetimes. They are all fighting with each other that I want to manifest. Something called destiny, adrishta, will decide in this lifetime what impression should manifest. So particular impressions, good, bad, of personality now. I will act in this particular way because these are the impressions that are manifested in this life. And whatever is manifested, it's called prarabdha. Adrishta decides, manifestation is prarabdha. And these are all programmed, finish, like that.
So now when you say Chitta's consciousness, so is it something to do with the soul then? Or it's to do with the mind? I mean, I'm just trying to find where it fits.
Chitta is the primordial element. This is Mahatatvana, that is actually Chitta element, which is the repository of all information. The connection from the soul and this body is how soul is connected to the body, something called prana. There are nadis, there are 5 pranas. So this prana is actually the energies that are circulated where the soul stays in prana. It is balanced with prana. Now if I touch, how I come to know something is touching me? Because there is prana here. The soul transmits the energy to the body with the help of prana.
Okay.
That's like that. And all the nadis and they carry. And then there is something called this is the part of manas where we put bindi and tilak. This way we have to put tilak here, concentration, everything. This is the place of manas. Like that.
And
so,
how do you describe the Chitta in detail? I mean, like
Chitta is just a neutral information. If you remove your ahankara, you can access other people's information also. Like like it's a universal hard disk, every information is there, but there is a ahankara boundary on it. If I remove my ahankara boundary, I get access for all other people's chitta. So I can get information which is useless from others also. The ahankara is a boundary. It's like we all have Google. We all store in the Google only. Google is a universal storage. Everybody has their own account. You store it.
So
But you,
I understand Chitta now. So you equated it to Mahatattva and you said it's a repository of all the information. And depending on if I have an Ahankara, so I'm encapsulating that particular repository in myself. Yeah. So now it has nothing to do with the subtle body, is it?
that is only subtle body, na?
That is only subtle body. That means Chitta is only the mind, intelligence, false ego.
See, Manas, Buddhi, see, mind has 4 parts I told. One is Chitta, Buddhi, Manas and Ahankar. In English, they call as subconscious mind, unconscious mind, conscious mind, and that is subtle body.
Okay. Now then, when we are moving from one body to the other, in different births, we are carrying all the 4 from one body to the other, or only
4.
All 4. So it's not only the impressions; it's everything.
Because soul cannot be touched by anybody. It is the subtle body that goes to another body. Because soul is attached to subtle body, it also goes to that body.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense, Prabhu. Thank you so much for that clarification. So many things. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. In continuation to her question, you said that from one body to another body, we carry the entire subtle body, right? So how come suppose if I take a birth, in the next life I become a dog, and after that I become a cat.
You will go to spiritual world, Mataji.
What, Prabhu? Sorry.
You will go to spiritual world.
No, Prabhu. I don't know, Prabhu, but maybe by your blessings. But my question is that if I take a birth of a dog and then a cat, then isn't it my ahankara of being a dog will be different from being a cat? So how come the ahankar also goes along with the next body?
No, the ahankar element is there. Ahankar is there, but you start the living entities start identifying in a different way. Means not that I'll again identify you. Ahankar means what? Basically identity. So now my ahankar is making me identify with this body. I am an Indian. I am a Hyderabadi. I am so and so. My ashram, my brahmachari, or whatever. Now, if I take this ahankar element to another body, it will say, "Oh, I am a cat. This is my body. This is my boundary. Whoever comes in this area, I should bark if I am a dog." So ahankar, wherever you keep, it will identify in that way. It's like that.
So previous, go ahead, Preeti Vilas.
So ahankar is just identification with the body, period. Nothing else, strings attached.
Ahankar is only, it is very close to Manas. Manas says I like, Ahankar says I want. Manas says I don't like, Ahankar says reject it. It is just programmed by Manas.
So ahankar is not carried from one body to another.
See, ahankar is there. Ahankar is only identity. Whichever place you keep, now if I am kept in, say, in this house, ahankar will say, this is my house. You take it, after that, you keep ahankar in some other place, ahankar will say, that is my house. You keep my car, it says my car. So ahankar is only identification with what gives displeasure. Also, ahankar is having. So the identity is what is ahankar, and we should need to have a strong ahankar. That is also very important. More strongly we identify, more we'll be able to perform. Spiritual, when you turn that same ahankar into spiritual, we strongly identify with our spiritual master, with Krishna, and we can go to spiritual world. Ahankar is it's like earth. Ahankar is represented by earth. Buddhi by fire, Manas is water, and Chitta is air. Air is very flexible. Manas is very like dislike, water, it flows. Buddhi is what we need to increase more our buddhi, because it's like a fire, it burns all our karma, all our actions like that.
Yeah, Prabhu. Sorry, but one last thing, maybe I'm not able to make myself clear, that isn't it like so many times we have heard that in this human form of life also, we are carrying the identities of our all the past lives. So what does it mean when we say that we are carrying the identities of my past life also?
We are carrying the impressions which we got
Okay,
from
we are
last life.
okay, now I got it. We are just carrying the impressions, and because of those impressions, the desires.
We are going to act in that way in the next life.
Yeah, got it. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
We'll end here.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. A very, very fantastic class. Very, very thought-provoking. So many points got cleared today, Prabhuji. These things were always in my mind, not very clear. But thank you so much for this clarity which you gave us today. And Prahlad Anand Prabhuji is raising his hand, I think. Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Prabhuji, I just have a final request that, all this scientific knowledge and the parallel spiritual elements in that, I wish if you have convenience, whenever you have time, please tabulate, make a flow chart like that. That will help us to make the impressions go in our psych, chitta, and we carry it next birth too. That's my request. If you have time and convenience, please do that. This flow chart of, how the chitta, ahankar, because, in Prabhupada books and everywhere, we miss that point of chitta there. Because always the mind, intelligence, ego is a settled body. That's what we understand. And today you also said about chitta and all that. This we call antahkaran, if we chatuste, like that. That was what we hear. But in Prabhupada books and commentaries, I haven't come across chitta like that. So I was just requesting if you could tabulate this or make a flow chart or kind of, that would make it easier to retain. And that was my request. It's up to you. Very well. Thank you.
I will try, bro. I cannot promise, but I'll definitely try. I made some things. I have to add up to it and make it in a proper way. I will try.
Second that request, Prabhuji. Please do it. It will really be helpful.
I made something. I'll just share now because it is not complete, but I'll just show you what I made. Maybe that is some part of it, but it's not complete. What I took today's class is a little more than that. I will just share with you. Some things I made, but this is not I made samskaras, vasanas with these. What are vasanas? These are the desires, and then adrishta, prarabdha. I made some part of it, but this is not complete. I have some more to add to it. Maybe once I complete, I will try to share.
Yes,
Please,
Prabhuji,
please share what you have so far, Prabhu. That would be at least a helpful start for us.
Yeah, I don't know how to share. I put in the group.
Yeah, just put it in the group, I think, or I'll give
I'll
it
post
to Sundari Masi and they'll post it.
Yeah, you can send it to me, Prabhu, Preeti Vilasni. I can text you and then I'll forward it in the group.
Yeah, I will send to Mataji.
Prabhuji, you have my number, right? There also you can send. I send you the poster, right?
Yeah. Okay, I will put in the. I'll just post in the. I have sent you. I sent you. You can share. I have sent Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
I got it, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. So if there are no more questions or realizations, with your permission, shall we end the call, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namah. Nantakoti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Pramod.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you.